Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Pit Against, a live Flesh and Blood call-in show. I'm William Table and Legs, and I'm joined by Kevin Smurph Murphy. Kevin, what's up?
What's up?
I have air conditioning. Kevin has
Again?
has power,
Yes.
and so we're back. And we're back. Pit Against the live call-in show. If you'd like to be live on air talking to us about your hot take, join the Pit Against Discord by clicking on the link that's in the description. Then join the waiting room channel, put your hot take in the topics section channel. Like your take will pull you on for a mic check and then put you on air. You can also put a take in the topics section channel, in the stream chat, or in the comments for me to bring up if you can't make it on. I think I'm reworking some of our intro and outro this coming week.
Okay.
But it's mostly going to be the document that the intro and outro is on, because there's some stuff I don't do anymore, and there's some stuff I'd like to say more, like for people to comment their takes, because I feel like you listen to this and you're like, that guy they had on's an idiot, and I'm going to explain why in the comments. I would like more of that. Not that we have any idiots on the show. We've never had an idiot on this show, and you would not be one if you joined tonight. Oh yeah. Yeah, I guess I did forget that part of the intro. See, that's why I need to update the comment or update the document. I need to remember that I'm supposed to say, what is it I normally say? We missed a week and I've completely whatever. All right. Anyways, cards got banned.
Yeah. All the ones that they said were going to be banned.
More cards got banned, but in a different format.
People play that format?
Some cards got unbanned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some heroes got benched.
Yeah.
A hero got unbenched.
Yes.
Sorry, not hero, king, by the way.
Sure. Young King, yeah.
Which, when they said king, I kept thinking to myself, like, I thought Starvo was the king. I mean, is it just the king based on whatever context?
No, Chain is just their baby.
I feel like we're getting Ice in the next set because they referenced Ice in the BNR.
Nope.
And that Chain is going to, in the lore, be some kind of king. So, he's going to, I don't even know. He's going to be like, he's going to Itachi, where he's just going to be like, ha, psych, I was the good guy all along. I don't know. Whole show scuffed. All right. Where do you want to start with these bands? I can talk about the comments that were made online. I can talk about the comments that were made in the Discord, or you can give your hot take if you got any right off the bat. Where do you want to start?
I don't know. All the bans are fine. We knew about them. We're not surprised. Like, the Tide Mod ban, I guess, kind of makes sense once they put it in that context. And it's like, okay, sure. Because you have enough stuff that you're having blow up as illusionist cards that you're going to get to feed Tide Maw, which can feed Restless Coalescence, which can refeed Tide Maws, etc., etc.
I bet they found a way to make that like really consistent or something.
Sure. I mean, I think the number they specifically pointed out was 14 damage per turn, which is 2 Spectral Shields from Restless Coalescence per turn cycle and 12 block. So it's probably not that difficult. Yeah, I mean, I think this is all fine. And then they don't want to touch CC, which maybe is okay. With Victor about to LL during this Nat season, presumably, sure.
Mario's been seeing a smaller meta share, not meta share, and like I
Yeah.
don't know about necessarily meta share now that I've said that, but like smaller conversion and win
Yeah,
rate.
the results for Marionette have been lower than for the other heroes.
The meta's a
Marionette's
little more
kind of
hostile for him.
maybe not hostile, but like
Yeah.
they're just the 45% across the board deck, and that doesn't always get there. Like, because it's also going to matter the quality of player on the deck, and if you only have Jacob Clements as the only person showing up on the deck, that's a top player every event. Like, he went and won a calling on the deck,
Yeah,
and has top aided like 2 more.
yeah.
The deck is still good, even if then in the last one there weren't any in top 8 because he didn't make top 8.
Like if you had 10 to 20 people showing up to these event of Jacob Clements level on the deck, it probably shows better results.
Yeah,
Better
probably.
better total results.
Also, yeah, Acilio does shape a lot of this when he still had Volzar, for
These
sure.
bands we're looking at is something we've been thinking about since they foreshadowed them, but they're not in effect until tomorrow. And so we've been watching these tournaments where people are still thinking about Acilio.
Yeah, yeah, Acilio in his current form at least. But yeah, I don't know. I think all of it's fine in terms of the actual like choices that were made.
Yeah.
I think the writing was a bit lackluster.
So I'll talk about the rest of them just real quick because we went over that real quick.
Oh, sure.
In Sage, they banned. I'm gonna say
Sure.
five.
Yeah, we can do Sage.
Yeah. I mean, just real quick. It looks like they
Yeah.
banned. I'm not gonna go over all of them, but they banned 5 cards out of Chain. 3 of the cards came out of Briar because they overlap on card pool a little bit, right? Briar was running Reaping Blade and Beckoning Haunt, right? So
Not every list was running Reaping Blade, but Beckoning Haunt, yes.
yeah. And then Volzar,
Yeah.
because all these new cards is just going to change it up. Aether Spindle got unbanned, and then the 2 cards that had to get unbanned with Briar to make the Briar Precon legal
Yep.
also got unbanned. And that's also like Flourish got unbanned for the same reason, or Flourish got banned for the same reason Lightning Press got unbanned. Burnham Shock got unbanned.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to unban those 2 cards, the interaction with them and Flourish, I think you can play around. But for the new player product, is kind of sus almost.
It's still hard to play around.
Yeah, it is still hard to play around. I feel like when I'm playing against Briar and they have access to all 3 cards, I am constantly thinking about it.
Yeah.
But a new player playing, like, yeah, I don't know, a different precon, like what's one that a Blaze precon is not necessarily thinking about that.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably fine. That's like an oopsie. I did 10 extra damage you weren't expecting out of a deck that's not very reaction heavy. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw Tao Tao get juiced with that in San Diego, right?
yeah, we did.
Like,
And he's a very experienced professional player
yeah.
who, like, he knows a thing or two. He's the forefront of the decks, most of the decks he plays, and got thrown off by it. So I think it's. I personally am also completely okay with the banning and unbanning in Sage as well. I know some people were upset about Burnham Shock and Lightning Press.
It is consistent with the policy that they have previously stated. Whether or not I agree with that policy is a separate question, but this does not surprise me. I will put it that way.
I can very easily, not to get into it, I can very easily be like, all right, that's the policy. And then I just live in that box and I don't necessarily feel obligated to think outside of it.
I can accept that that is the policy they're taking. That is the box that we're in, but I can also step out of that box if I don't enjoy what's going on.
Dude, I forget about what's outside of the box so fast in a game like this. Like, I'm so concerned about, like, because that's the world you have to play the game in. So it's the one I'm thinking about. I think both. This is coming from my point of view, but I think both are reasonable for people to be like, oh, okay, yeah, it makes sense inside the box. If for people to be like, well, outside the box there's this, I don't know.
I mean, outside of the box is just I'm not going to engage with it because it is a policy I don't agree with.
Sure,
which is what I'm doing with Silver Age right now.
Fair enough. In a completely different aspect, it reminds me of, this is very different. This is apples and oranges. It reminds me of Universes Beyond and Magic, where it's like some people are very upset about Universes Beyond, and then there's professional players who are like, yeah, but the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle card wins.
Yeah.
It's actually the inverse box where it's like some people are like, I don't want to live in Universes Beyond, but the people who are like focused on the format don't care what art is on the card.
Yeah. Matters when there's not enough people in the box.
That does matter.
Okay. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But that's just us voting with our wallet and our time then.
and they will do something if you do that. Which I'm not
Like
advocating for it because
I agree it matters when there's not enough people wanting to engage with whatever format or whatever game. But that's just kind of the way it works. If I'm understanding your point correctly.
Other than
Like,
that, Ira got 22% because the Dev Talk also came out today. Ira got 22% of the votes for benching. Kano got 21%. KO got 16%. And they have all been benched.
Yep.
Cavdane got 13%.
No.
Well, other got 13, and we all know it was Cavdane. And then Chain was unbenched because benching.
He had his season off.
His season off happened, and now he's back.
Yep.
And I've pretty much locked in my benching for next season. It's just going to be Chain. I'm going to pick him regardless because the format's probably healthier without him. I think it's funny when he shows back up, and I don't mind it as much, but I don't know. I'm chilling.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. They did put some decent bans on him.
They did. And it's like
I think they're actually
too.
Yeah, I think they're very real hits for Chain. Especially the 2-cost rune gates. Those do a lot to the rune gate, the consistency of that rune gate build, especially because one of the things that kind of goes underappreciated in Vincent is the rune chant you get every turn. Durability, and Chain doesn't get that. So you have to make 3 rune chants. And that makes Malefics a little bit worse, and you have less Malefics. And I think losing the 2-cost rune gates is a very real consistency hit, especially when they were running like Rainbow of Phantom Wraith.
Yeah. Is all that's left 3 cost? I
3 cost, yeah. 3 cost plus DRE. I don't know that there's a ton of good DRE hits. It's also difficult for you to damage yourself as Chain. Because you don't have Vincent ability.
Yeah.
But that is on the table.
That is on the table.
As it were.
That's interesting. I wonder how good old Chain is. Boomer Chain.
Probably not as good without Seeds of Agony or Belittle.
Oh my gosh.
Or Art of War.
They banned everything. Well, Art of War wasn't going to be in this format.
Well, yeah, but like
Art of War downshifted to rare.
Too powerful for CC. Put it in a 20 health format.
Like Blitz.
Yeah. But yeah, I do have, I guess, to talk about the BNR.
Yes, let's talk about the BNR.
I don't like the way they talk in this post.
Go on.
So to start off, I guess one of their statements here. The team also wishes to disclose that they considered applying their vote to Kano, a hero the community had also voted to bench, which would have extended his bench duration by an additional season, but felt this possibility was not clearly communicated in advance.
It was
I
not
believe you
something
mean
I ever
at
thought
all.
of. Yeah, this was not anywhere on my radar.
I don't have an issue with that being part of the system. If you want to make that a part of the system. The way that you're phrasing this, though, is that it's always been a part of the system and you just never said anything, but would have just done it and sprung it on us, and you could have also just told us. And I think part of my whole issue with this is their lack of transparency around Silver Age ban list, which is a choice they can make again, but it's also one that I'm allowed to disagree with, and I feel like this falls into that bucket.
So, I feel like... Yeah, I do. I will say real quick that in the dev talk they talk about this, and the way they talk about it in the dev talk is they were like, "We were gonna vote for Kano if nobody else did, but y'all did vote for Kano, so now we don't have to." Which is a different wording. Yes. It sounds and very
that's something
different.
That's something that we knew about.
Yeah.
We knew that they could bench up to one hero. So if they needed to, they could add another one in. This doesn't surprise me that they didn't use one and their plan was to use it on Kano if we didn't, for whatever reason. The fact that it would have added an extra season is weird and why would you not just tell us that at some other point? And it's another piece of we're making it up as we go along. And yeah, you make the rules, we get it, but like you made your reputation on your
Transparency.
transparency in your management of the game and its formats and its rules. And this feels the way you've presented this, because there's another way they could have presented this that would have been way less.
We've
Yeah,
decided
we
to
could have
come up
done
with
this, but
this.
we didn't.
We
It was
decided to
like
come up with this concept where next time,
if
if we do decide to double up on
yes,
things, like they present it as a brand new thing that they've just now thought of.
yes, if they had literally presented it as this is the first time, we wouldn't have done it for this one, but in the future, if we wanted to, we can exercise the right to add an extra season.
At best, it sounds like poor communication, and
Yes.
at worst, it's they were basically withholding information,
They're making it up
and
as they go along,
or they're making it up as they go along.
which just feels like what are why do we not have this planned? But I, you know, you can do whatever, LSS. It's your game. It's your show.
It does feel like, and I said this before the
Well,
show,
this is our
that
show, but Fab
yeah,
is theirs.
yeah, this is our show. Listen up, LSS. I did say before the show that I thought it felt like the benchings for it feels like the benchings on the dev side is ignores all the benching rules. And I think we as a community did not expect that. We expected them to put their benching rules in the same kind of rule set as ours, because their benching
Yeah.
rules, they are allowed to bench a hero that was going to get unbenched, was something they said in the dev talk. And like they could have said they're benching Kano this season. Or I'm sorry, not Kano. They're benching
Bane.
Chain this season, and he would stay benched.
Oh, just adding an extra season.
Yeah, yeah. They could just drop that.
Um,
Is what they implied
I
in the
would.
dev talk. And then in this, they're talking about doubling benchings because they want to bench them as well.
Yeah, I. Because it's funny because like this tool could be used so well if it's like, okay, no, there's another set we need to get through and we need to balance this around before we let this hero back into the format. And that would make so much sense for them to just be like, hang on, we need this hero gone for this season because we have stuff we need to figure out. That would make so much sense to do that. And like if you literally just present this in any other way or at the beginning that you can do this, then we would like that.
What it feels like, and this is what people have been saying on the internet, so I'm copying other people's takes, but I might present it in a slightly different way, is it feels like they don't have, I know they do. They have some amount of a PR team, but it doesn't feel like they have a dedicated PR team that reviews everything. Like everything. Like
It feels like they have a person who does PR
they have
who
they have
is a
like
dev first.
they have content. It feels like they have content managers, not PR
Yes.
representatives.
Yes.
And I think you can have like the same person can do a very similar job. Like especially if it's a smaller TCG, that can be just the same person.
Yeah.
But I don't think unless like if anything was applied to this from like the content manager or the PR side, it was a couple extra little quirky lines put in that almost make it feel. This was another thing I think I heard somebody say where they were just like, "What is this tone of voice? This is a BNR update, and they're being a little casual about it." I don't think I personally fully agree with that. Like I think
Yeah.
it's kind of funny, but I can understand why people are like, "Bro, you just banned my favorite weapon period ever. The reason I want to play
Yeah.
the game right now, and you're making a cute little quip in the same post, and it's like I hurt." And I guess I can see that.
Yeah.
I can understand that. But
Yeah.
there was
Uh,
a go ahead.
And it's kind of like that kind of is through all of this, it feels like, where I don't know it. The article is marked as LSS. It's very
That's another
clearly in a
thing.
couple cases says I.
Who wrote this?
So why are you not just like
It's
I
gotta be.
understand you want this to be the policy of the company.
Uh,
Proofread it then
true.
because it's going to represent everyone and it's written as if it doesn't.
It's written
It
in first
reads
person.
it parts of it at least are written in first person and read as if they are written by an individual
I do have
and
two more
like
other problems. So, or I guess two other points.
I I think
Go ahead.
one of my biggest issues with the way they talk about the CC portion in particular is they start talking about all these other non-rotating formats that don't manage their stuff properly and have all these issues with power creep and stuff as they're banning cards.
Okay.
And they're talking as if, to put it bluntly, their shit don't stink.
I mean,
You're banning these cards because they're too powerful, and you're saying that outright. You've banned some of these cards in Living Legend. And you're going to tell me that your Eternal format is so much better than this other one? Because here's the fundamental issue that I come to with a game when you have expansions is that expansion will never perfectly match whatever power level your game has at the time of its release. It will either be some amount weaker than the current meta or some amount better than the current meta. And the only way you get it to be a satisfying set release is if it's usually about the same to the point where you kind of can't tell if it's better or worse than the current meta. And I think a good example of that is Hunted,
ooh,
where
interesting.
you did not supplant that meta on release, and all of those heroes were still relevant on release. Now, that changed a bit as you moved towards London, and some of those heroes started to fall off as Aurora really established herself, but also got the armory deck.
No, no,
Getting
no.
the
It's
armory
it's
deck.
interesting because like, Syndra took off really quickly, but then she like
Yep.
settled into the meta. Marionette did
Yep.
nothing until people slowly started to figure out what he does.
Marionette showed up on at the Battle Hardened release weekend.
Do I not remember that?
I played 3
Well,
round 5, 6, and semis.
god dang. Then I
Marionette
don't
was a
remember.
real
Then
deck
I
that
don't
weekend.
remember.
Yeah, Marionette did fall off a bit,
Yeah.
especially with Aurora and Enigma kind of showed back up a little bit more
Mm-hmm.
once Enigma showed back up more, Marionette falls off more. Aurora with her armory deck and getting Serenade also kind of took the spot as best aggro deck once that happened, but that format was still fairly balanced until the armory deck showed up, which is like, okay, so we have roughly an even format, but it's like it was hard to tell on Hunted release whether that set was substantially better or substantially worse than the meta that already existed.
Mm-hmm.
Because Zen was still a player going into that, going out of that format. New was still a player going out of that format. Viserai was still a player in that format. Viserai still did very well for the next couple weeks before he LL'd. But you run into this problem where when you look back at kind of, and we're going to look at the last 3 sets. We're going
Okay.
to look at Super Slam, we're going to look at Compendium, and we're looking at Omens. Super Slam and Compendium did not have massive meta impact. They didn't.
No.
They were both substantially weaker in terms of card power or card quality than the previous sets. And there's a couple reasons for that. One is Compendium is a Silver Age focused set, quote unquote. And we can get into my actual, I think, hot take for the night in a minute here. But like you've you have chosen to make Omens a set that is weaker than the current meta you have, and therefore you have to ban cards out of the current meta. That's just it. And half of that is going to be Victor LLs. And then you're going to hope that, I think they're hoping that Ziggy can manage Marionette a little bit better than the current meta can. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, but that's what it looks like to me. And this is their choice on how they want to manage the power level. And instead of just letting power creep run it, which you either fix with a large ban list, which they're rapidly approaching, by the way. The CC ban list is not short.
No, and that's something
is it
like
Yu-Gi-Oh? No.
But also,
it's
we're not as
7 years
old
of
as
bans.
Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah. That was one thing when I was getting into Flesh and Blood, and they banned. What was it? I forget. No, when I first got into Flesh and Blood, one of the first things that happened was they eroded Briar and banned Duskblade because I got in at Tails release, and I was
banned Seeds.
They
didn't erode Briar for a bit.
Well, I just specifically remember around the time Briar got eroded, still remembering Duskblade got banned.
Sure,
I was like,
it would have been. It was somewhat close. I don't know how close.
Anyways, it was like, this is a game. I'm getting into this card game, and they're doing an errata, and they just had a ban. And I was more used to rotating formats where that was not the standard by any means. You didn't really have to keep up with bans or erratas because they were just like, I don't know. It just wasn't as big of a deal, or it didn't need to happen, or you just played through the problem cards. And I was like, man, am I sinking my teeth into this? I mean, like, the last thing I want to deal with is like a 50 card ban list. So
yeah. And it's funny because they're talking about like aggressive power creep rendering non-rotation a paper tiger, which is like, okay, so you need an extensive ban list then, which Yu-Gi-Oh is the point that people keep bringing up. And so
to be fair, a restricted list is like, I am the dumbest and most complicated thing. I hate it so much. But I don't know that
it's the dumbest, but it is extra complication for minimal upside.
So yes, it's just like I hear about people and they're like, hey, this card got upgraded from 1 of to 2 of, and I'm like, I never want to play this in my entire life.
Why am I supposed to keep track of that?
Why do I have to keep track of that?
Legal or not? Come on,
please.
But like they talk about that, and then they start the next paragraph with just sometimes we're gonna have to ban cards. Yes. Duh. Every game has to. Please stop talking to us like we're actually children if you want this game to be 16 plus.
I don't know. I've been on Bluesky. I also looked on Twitter some. Some people do need to be talked to.
If you want this to be a competitive game and you want to treat this like a game for an adult that wants to play competitively as their hobby,
treat me like an
act
adult.
like that game and treat me like the adult that wants to play your game competitively and take it seriously.
Yeah.
Like that just felt like, yeah, we ask you to. We ask you to ban cards.
There's someone out there that read that and was like, sometimes we have to ban cards. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but yeah, sometimes you do have to. Yeah, and then they're like, defend.
All the people who are like salty about it, it's like, no, they've called for a card to be banned at some point. Every one of those people has called for a card to be banned at some point. It's like, come on, we know. Have this conversation in good faith that we can understand that you're trying to manage this game. You can leave out that entire sentence and just skip straight to revisit beloved heroes and talents of the past. We need to move on from cards that have aged poorly or they continue to produce compounding risks as the card pool grows. 100%. That's a totally valid reason to ban some of these cards because you don't want the power level to be what it was back then, which is fine. It doesn't have to be. And it's consistent. Banning these cards is consistent with the power down that we're kind of seeing in Omens for Lightning, I should say. Like, that's fine. Go ahead, do it. You can leave out the sentence that just says sometimes we're going to have to ban cards. Like, come on. We know why you're making this post. You already told us. And it just, all of that is just part of like the tone that I just like don't love in this BNR in particular, and in some of the statements they've made over the past few months.
I think it's maybe more. I feel like you have to pick your. I think there's a question of appropriateness is I think how I would write it, where it's like in the BNR you want to be succinct, direct, clear, very clear, and just this is what and for why and what we think it'll do. And in the dev talk, you have two developers and they're laid back in a couch and they're just shooting the crap about the bands. And I think that's the place for that. And I think this place needs maybe just a little more tact. Is kind of what I would say. You know, it's appropriate at the dev talk couch, but on this page, maybe it's not as appropriate. I can definitely see that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just didn't love that, but yeah.
Okay.
Especially when they're also then going to go into, I guess to give my hot take, they're going to go into Silver Age and start messing with that, and they're banning as if they're trying to balance it. And then they're still making their bans around the precons.
Yeah.
And I don't think Silver Age is particularly well balanced at the moment, and I think the thing that has drawn that into focus for me is Omens Limited.
Okay. Interesting.
Which is a very well balanced 20 health format. And Mistveil Limited was a very well balanced 20 health format. And are great examples of what it looks like for a 20 health format to be balanced. And the differences between Sage and those limited sets is glaring.
I'm gonna cry. I have always thought the perfect way to introduce somebody to a trading card game in every aspect of it, from the deck building to the game, is draft. That is the way to get new players in. I get precons. They're easy.
Disagree.
What if
it would be sealed first and then draft later, because I don't want them to have to sit down at a table and draft with people who are looking at them like, please take your pick.
Sure.
Stop reading.
Just
limited, yes.
Just make pre-release bundles.
Yeah.
Sell them over boxes. That's my hot take. Sell pre-release kits instead of boxes.
Yeah. No, I would want to compare the values per turn average between Silver Age and Mistveil Limited and Omens Limited, because I think there's three tiers there. Where a good Silver Age value per turn is 14 plus, which by the way is CC numbers still.
Still CC numbers. Wow.
A good Mistveil value per turn is about 12. But you're getting to do that with blues, so you get very high consistency out of it.
Love that.
And then you get Omens, which is about 10 value per turn for good, as your like benchmark, which is crazy low, and people are struggling to adapt to. But I think it's a really good example of you can balance these 20 health formats and not have them feel gross. And part of that is going to be powering that down, and I don't think Silver Age has done that enough.
I feel like this is almost weirdly speculative, but There might be a better Silver Age format where it's heroes not voted in. Voted in is the wrong choice. Devs pick 10 heroes.
Curated.
Curated. It's like is these
Yeah.
10 heroes.
I
This is your Sage format.
I'm gonna.
Be a
Hey
lot of
Taylor,
people hate that.
If you're watching this, here's your bit. What if Sage was just rotating?
Oh,
You just said rotation. You
I
said
did.
rotation by a different name.
Sure, but rotation has the stigma of when it rotates, it's gone. And so the concept of how they would
Yes.
probably do it if you use the word rotation is the last 10 heroes is
Yeah.
I know.
I
What if they're just like
but
Chain's funny in this one, throw him in.
Is the set order not curated? I had to throw it back at you.
I just listen, I want
I
want to
think
play with all my cards. I want a young
I think your
hero
solution is much
format.
more elegant and allows a lot more.
What if it is?
Let's
What
call
if
it
it's like the last
expression.
6 heroes and then they throw 4 in? Whatever the last 6 to
Sure.
7 heroes.
That
and then
would
they
also
throw
probably be
like,
really
The
interesting.
last 2, that's it. The last 2 sets of heroes. So it'd be
Yes.
Super Slam and Omens. We'll skip Compendium.
Yeah, don't count supplementals.
Don't count supplementals. That's 7 heroes. And then LSS throws like 3 to 5 heroes in. And that's Sage. Taylor, make that
Something
format.
like that.
I'm more interested in that.
Yeah, Taylor, where are you at?
Taylor, where are you at?
No, but it's like, I mean, rotation is just like the easy way to actually reset your power level, which they're trying to do with LL as a natural way to do it. But like, it's doesn't work fast enough in some cases and works too fast in others because balancing it is a nightmare. And rotation is like self-regulating because it's a just a pure time restriction. You still have the same issues with LL and rotation on terms of like card value, but like last 4 sets. Sure, however you want to balance it, but I also don't know that I want the community to vote
like,
heroes in.
The reason I give like 10 heroes is because when you play Sage right now, you have, or in the last format, you have 7 to 10 heroes to choose from.
Yeah.
Really. You do. You really do.
Competitively.
From a competitive mindset. And I think
Yeah.
it's fine to put that restriction on casual players. And then they'll grow to adapt to new and different heroes. You know, I don't know.
You'll need to make sure there's some variety in it, but
Yeah.
it also makes your ban list smaller because you can just not have heroes in that would play ball lightning.
And then you can have draft decks. You can not draft decks. You can have it's not cube, but you can have like you remember in Sage, like in 2027 when we had the Icelander versus Ira matchup was like really big. And then I still have the decks from that format, and then you play them against each other for funsies.
Retro formats.
Yeah, you could just have like your favorite Sage format, whatever season that was, and that could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's just.
I think if you do
playing
last
Omens
4 set
Limited,
with 3 open slots, you have way too many heroes, and a lot of them don't exist.
You're somewhere around 15 heroes, which isn't like too bad.
I guess.
That's
We have
not
like
terrible.
3 to 4 heroes a set.
That's not that bad. I don't
It's like
think.
18 heroes.
Maybe 4x4, yeah. But you can figure out the number. Like, you can set whatever numbers you want on that. But, like,
Yeah.
Omens as a 20 health format, feeling balanced, hitting second cycle, and the game still being relatively quick when people are playing at a normal pace is, like, really made me appreciate, like, just how good a 20 health format can be.
Yeah.
Again, because like Mistveil is like what really sold me on Limited in Flesh and Blood and like what it could be. Because that was the first time playing Sealed where I felt like I had any agency in Sealed in particular. Because I felt like I just had none when I played Heavy Hitters and Bright Lights and all that stuff. I was like, I don't know, I'm just doing the thing. These games
Yeah,
aren't
these
real.
cards played this way, and then you move on.
Yeah, like that was just it. But like Mistveil Sealed, I got to sideboard.
Yeah. You'll get to do it in Omens too. I 100% believe
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And like when I was in Osaka for Worlds that year, I guess that would have been a year and a half ago at this point. One of the promo events was Mistveil Sealed, and I was excited to play it
I love
because
that.
the format was that good. And it's just like we can do 20 health formats. We know how to do 20 health formats, but you need to tone the numbers down, and they just aren't.
Here's a question: do they know how to make a good 20 health format, or do they try to make a good 20 health format and sometimes they get it?
I think they're not. The way it looks to me is they have not tried to balance this around it being a 20 health format.
Okay.
They are trying to balance CC in a 20 health format.
The problem I think was when you said your average value per turn is 14. What it feels like is, we probably brought this up before, where it's like what they're doing in CC is they're moving towards cards like Tarantula Toxin and Test of Iron Strength, where it's like high upside, but a little more gambly.
It's more conditional.
Yeah. And so like that makes the games more exciting. It leads to more variance. The best players aren't always winning. And then in Sage
doesn't have that.
We're taking those cards out.
Yeah.
And
you lose all the Majestics, which is like your power cards.
Yeah.
And those are the cards that, like, yes, okay. Mistveil Sealed has one blemish, which is that Mirror Guy was draftable. 100% agree.
Sure.
But, like, if you remove that and it's like, oh, I got a Restless Coalescence and I got 2 Spectral Manifestations to go with it. Sick. Let's go. But that's not, like, game ending. That's good, don't get me wrong. But that doesn't end a game by itself.
Yeah, you don't walk away with the draft because of it. You walk away with the draft because of that, and then you played well.
Yes, because if your opponent just has, like, any of the Zen Majestics, they can just win with that. If they just have Red Key Unleashed, and they get to play it 3 times because they mask it back once, and then they preserve Tradition it once, and they just actually, like, played their sealed pool well, like, you can get juiced.
Yeah.
But, like, that still takes 3 turns of them doing, like, very specific things, and they had to draft the particular chi to do that.
Yeah.
Like, there are ways to balance 20 health formats and make them feel engaging and not, because Mistveil was not a linear format in terms of value. You had to set stuff up because of the way Transcend worked and because you had to play blues. And then Omens is not a linear format at all because of all the arcane, which also they managed to balance really well, I think.
I will say, this is another thing, is I think I did this for Omens. And I did it for Omens. I think I did it for Mistveil. Is I have 2 or 3 friends that know what Flesh and Blood is, and have played like 2 games of it, and they're like, we get it. It's really cool. We're not going to invest ourselves in it at all. And sometimes they show up to pre-releases because they just want to hang out.
Yeah.
And they were like, I told them that there was a new set coming out, and they were like, sick. Do you think I'll like it? And I was like, you might have to do some homework.
Omens feels a little bit more like an enfranchised players limited set because it's even taken me about 10 drafts to kind of get on board with it being good. Because I thought it was just not nearly to this degree. Mistveil had like,
but would you say so?
It had a barrier to entry, quote unquote. But if you had played, I think, any fab before it, like if you had played a couple pre-releases before it, like for other sets, I would have no issue bringing someone who had just done pre-releases to do the Mistveil one, because I could easily just go like this, play this, and then this. It does this. Search your deck for the combo card. Hit them.
Yeah.
And that's a very easy onboarding thing. Enigma is a very easy onboarding thing. I probably don't hand them new, because winning games with that might be harder.
No, but the problem is you don't hand them to them because of the way
sure
drafts work. And so what they do is they pick up Zen and they're like, oh, okay. And then they pick up a Enigma and they go, oh, okay. And then they pick up new and they go, oh, okay. And then they play new. I mean, and then you're like, fair. Bro, come on.
That's fair.
There's more thought process than that.
there is there is that extra step for them to like play new and win games with it, right? Like compared to the other two, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it's still, I think, Omens, that floor is a little bit higher than other limited sets we've seen.
Yeah. Okay. I think at this point, I'm gonna cut us off and say, let's do some community. People have asked questions, said things, given takes. We'll start with this one. At Timothy Scroggs, you're kind of. We'll skip that one. We'll go to at Roast Beef Slim. Woo. We'll skip that one. The next one is in. This is on Bluesky. Again, if you can't be on, that's fine. But if you have takes you want to give, I make posts on Bluesky, so you can respond to those. You can put them in the comments especially if you have beef with stuff going on in the show. And you can post it on the Discord. The Discord link is in the description. Smithel said, I refuse to believe that Breyer did not get enough votes to be the top 3 ban. I'm convinced LSS decided to ignore her votes because the precon is coming out and they didn't want to ban a precon. I thought we didn't get Breyer as an option.
We did.
We did?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I've heard multiple people say something like this where they're just like, it's almost like they're building a distrust in LSS on certain things.
Yeah.
And it feels so weird for me because Flesh and Blood has always been so open that it's like, how can you distrust them? They're so open about all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it feels like that is not happening.
Omens.
I think it's hard to do. It's going to be hard to dispel that one. I think Fabry posted their poll numbers, which had about 1,500 votes, which is about 15% of the equivalent votes for. What LSS had.
Yeah.
And it showed Breyer in 4th, and the percentages matching pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah. On the Silver Age votes, I pulled them up for the Dev Talk. Breyer got 14%, which is 2 less than KO, and that makes her 4th.
Yep.
I didn't think we'd get Breyer. I'm fully in the camp. I did not believe that we would get Breyer as an option to vote for. I was like, no, wait, because they totally talked about it. They were like, if Breyer got banned, then we would just move the unbanning of those cards to later. Yeah. They did talk about that. I lost the sauce on that one. I don't know. I can believe it. It's hard to dispel something like that.
Yeah.
I have seen a billion people say this is the worst BNR I've ever read. Some of the comments about why are very vague.
Yeah.
A lot of them are just keep yourself safe. Breyer is loose. I'm not sure Breyer's the scariest thing in Sage right now.
Not entirely, but like, yeah, she's gonna kill Chain some percentage of the time just because she can kill him before he ramps up. I don't know. This is gonna be a weird one, and I think it's funny as I'm starting to look back on having played this game for almost 4 years now.
Look at you.
One of Fab's biggest strengths is how much people can get attached to heroes.
True.
And one of its biggest weaknesses that's showing now is how much people can get attached to heroes.
I think so. I've never had a break from Flesh and Blood intentionally. I've had emergency or family stuff come up and I don't play for a month or 2 months. But I've never not thought about Flesh and Blood since I've gotten into it, because I'm addictive prone, and 2, I don't know if there's a hero in Flesh and Blood that I'm like, I can personally attach myself to this character.
Sure.
Personally. And so I'm
Yes.
a little immune from this and don't want to talk about it from my perspective too much. Because
Sure. But how many people quit the game when their hero LLs and then they can't find a replacement?
well, I was going to say a surprising amount, but again, that's my perspective. A surprising amount.
Yeah, it's a
Many.
substantial amount.
Yeah. They talk about like one of the hurdles of Flesh and Blood is your hero LLs. Do you stay or do you go?
Yep.
Um,
Which then this is gonna the whole voting thing is gonna be part of that then.
yeah.
Like,
It's I think it can be it's going to feel different in a few years when Chain gets banned and he's banned for like 5 seasons
yeah.
or something like that. Like
And he comes
that's
back
gonna
and
feel
nobody's played
different.
him.
But for now, like if you're a Kano main, there's other wizards you can play. I know you
You're
really
getting
want to play
Blaze.
Kano. You get Blaze, but you get Kano in a few months.
Yeah.
You get Kano
Well,
for Worlds.
maybe. We're
Maybe.
assuming.
Unless LSS is like, actually we can ban Kano if we want to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on to the next one a bit. They banned Reaping Blade in CC. They banned Reaping Blade in Sage.
Oh yeah.
Will Apocalypse, really? Right in front of my convention promo? You're gonna ban
Yeah.
my Reaping Blade? And it's like, that does feel
Yep.
bad. I think it does feel bad when you ban something in every format, which is
Yeah.
why I want LL to be back, because if you have a pet card you desperately want to play, you can technically play it. And I'm cool with that, and I do that myself. I will play one of tech card in the sideboard and never bring it in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get it, and it feels bad. Not a big conversation there. Yeah, there we go. This person who has a name says there are legitimate arguments and evidence that LSS didn't realize that people get attached to their heroes. And I believe they go on to talk about how the pedigree of the developers of the game are of competitive minded players. And so
Yeah.
some of them might be thinking about this game the way William does, where it's like, KO, do you mean the brute that gets a might token when he discards a card and makes everything 6? Where it's like the hero and the art don't matter. I don't know, just play another brute or something, and ignoring the fact that people do get attached to their favorite little one-armed psycho. And I don't know if I fully agree with that. I feel like you know what you're doing when you make a hero-centric game like this. That's part of the draw. But
I think that can be true, and that they also potentially underestimated it.
oh, at JJ Scott NZ, saw your post. Shame there wasn't a stream last week. Was looking forward to your reaction of and again and the other one. We didn't talk about that.
Oh.
And again and what that one, the name Beckensteel. Okay, yes. We can talk about that for a second. Unless you have more you wanted to say on.
No, I'm
Yeah.
good.
If they were there,
yeah.
we'd have more to talk about because we'd have a bit of a back and forth. So more reason to come on to the
Yeah.
show. Articles. I'm gonna go look for that article again. I think there was a. Did I have a comment about it that I wrote down somewhere? And again,
I don't know.
I don't think I did. We just brought up the rules update. So there's been a rules update. It just says rules update. We've created Substacks, which I believe is like it's like a blog you can have on the internet. A Substack. But also in the game of Flesh and Blood. There's an attack queue. They updated the attack steps. There's now attacks and attack layers. I think
Yeah.
I don't know. My exciting thing about this was when they chose the word queue. I was like, that's the perfect word for this because it's not a stack, it's a queue. And I
Yeah.
from like a etymology word choice standpoint
Well,
was like, I love that.
yeah.
Which is like very minor in the scope of the whole thing, but I was like, that's great.
That's Josh Scott, PhD, being particular about
I
it.
love that. I love that. Some of the interactions are really funny. I read through this article and the in-depth attack queue article twice each. And I think it all makes sense. I think after you read through these, you're just like, yeah, this feels like the evolution of this. And I made a comment to somebody. This is not real. Like, there's, I feel like I'm not like getting super deep on this, but I made a comment to someone where I was like, Josh Scott has the coolest job in the world. From listening to him on Flesh and Pod, be like, yeah, I thought instant speed attacks would be a thing. So I decided to spend some time and look at what that would look like when it gets added to the game. And I was like, holy frick, that's the coolest job in the world. Game dev, it's almost like a game dev, but from a rules perspective, future proofing. That just sounds super cool to me. That is the coolest thing ever. Beck and Steel and again are intuitive 99% of cases and are only complicated versus Spectra. But what isn't?
Yes, I did have to walk a couple people through the interactions for those cards with Spectra, because it also took me 30 minutes to make sure I had everything figured out about where it would all go.
There was also an article, a rules reprise. And I thought the funny thing in that one was we were in the Discord, and I was asking the questions to people to see if they knew the answers. And the one that came up to funny to me was if I hit with infiltrate and banish call. And I was like, anytime you see infiltrate in one of these things, it's the funniest thing in the world for me. I know having to think about infiltrate and Yorick every time you print a card is like painful, but it's so funny to me. Which I think everyone got this question wrong, by the way, because none of us thought about it like the way it is described in the sentence. If you banish call, can I play this over an instant if I lost life this turn? And then it talks about card ownership versus controlling.
Yes.
And
the person who owns the card, where it's in their banish zone, they can play it, but the other player, the person who controlled the infiltrate, cannot, correct?
So the person who controls the infiltrate, it doesn't control call.
Yes.
Because
so they're not capable
in the
of playing
banish
it as
zone.
an instant.
So they're not capable of playing it as the instant. Because you don't control things in the banish zone. You only control things on the stack and on
they don't
the arena.
Own. Sure, but they also are not the owner.
Yeah. If you were the owner, you get to do it. Because
you have lost life.
You, in this case, refers to the controller. Unless there isn't a controller, then it refers to the owner.
Yes.
And so, since you're not the controller, they are the owner. They get to do it. You don't get to do it.
Yes.
I don't know. It all sounded super cool.
Close
to me.
enough.
I was like, all right, that sounds sick. I'm messing it up, but we're getting to the. This is why I never. In math, I never did all the. I'd get to the right answer, but I'd never do the work because I'm gonna get to the right answer. Just trust me, but. Don't ask how I got there. I think the and again stuff is sick.
I think it's neat card space. It's neat design space.
I think everyone talks about how Warrior gets the short end of the stick, and sometimes that feels very true.
I think this gives them a good space to expand their power, though, because this lets you kind of get around the flurry and Dory ability stuff in really interesting ways. I think.
It kind of
think we need
the class
we need Mastery Pack Warrior to really see, but
that's one thing it does. Makes me excited for Mastery Pack Warrior as someone who doesn't play Warrior and might not buy much of it, if any. I'm like, now I'm interested to see what's in it. This sounds cool. It's not 10 different flavors of one cost plus threes. Next. Someone was saying the king is back as a teaser for the next set. Some were saying that ice, being on thin ice in the Bane Restricted is a teaser for the next set. I sailed 2 people with this hot take. The game is fine.
CC's fine.
CC's
Like,
fine.
it's not bad. It's just not moving.
Now, this person, Nora, said Briar is not going to terrorize Sage. Chain is not going to terrorize Sage. And they didn't rig the vote to sell dinky precons.
Sure. I don't think that's why they would have done it, I guess. But, like, I also don't think they did it.
Yeah.
I don't know that Briar's going to terrorize Sage. I think Briar is going to, as always, going to create some feels bads because they get 16 value per turn in a 20 health format. I think Chain is going to create, with the bans they gave Chain, there's going to be some very swingy games where Chain's going to kill you on turn 2 because they hit 3 banishes and had the rune chance for all of them. And just deletes you.
Yeah. It's going to be a little swingy for that.
And it's going to be swingier because they need 3 rune chance for all of their stuff now, not just 2. 2 is a lot easier to get to. So I don't know that Chain's going to run stuff over. I think Chain would be more likely to run it over than Briar, just because Briar is like, Oldhim is still there, and the Icelander deck that's running around just adds in like a couple more ice cards, and suddenly Briar is just like folding to that Icelander deck. I think I'm still not going to play that Icelander deck despite wanting to play Icelander because it doesn't play Aether Ice Vein. But yeah, I think CC's fine, and I think Sage will be more or less fine. We'll have to see how Briar and Oldhim end up interacting, I think.
Let's see. The next thing I was going to bring up was it wasn't that. Frick, where was it?
Go find it.
Yeah, I'm going to find it. All right. Well, Roast Beef Slim also said, like, I don't think the bans or unbans were surprising if you thought about it long enough.
No.
Actually, what I was going to respond to was Saint Havoc. Been listening to your content, by the way. Love it. So take this as love. They said it separates the new and again and Beck and Steel separates Assassin and Warrior, which is fantastic. I've heard a lot of people talking about how Assassin and Warrior feel very close to each other right now, with Warrior getting some instant or reaction speed disruption, and Assassin getting more dagger focused builds that are that
like
have
weapon focused.
Yeah. And,
value builds.
I push back.
I mean,
those are like some big macro concepts that are like overlaps between them.
Sure.
But I think there's a lot of small. I just need to get this off of William's chest. There's a lot of small things that each class has that definitely separate them. If not anything flavor, but also flavor wise. Some of them being like,
my class is special.
My class is different and special, and I swear, Brute and Guardian are closer to each other than this. But I think there's like I don't know. There are mechanics. I could rant about it, but one of the big ones that I really love in Assassin and love to see more is this concept of they pull cards out of their graveyard and play them with like Codex and Mantle, and I just love that effect.
The graveyard is a resource.
Graveyard is a resource. Rizal Ghost. I don't see the game continuing its growth on how it's currently going. New sets don't have enough of an impact. New sets don't have enough of an impact. Playable fables that only drive up the price of the game. The way core product releases while QA seems to fall by the wayside. They're just like they're noticing some like hiccups that they're not excited about. They're like, I don't understand how the game's going to grow like this.
I I think QA hasn't been great. I think it's largely been on the printer side than the LSS side. And I say that because the printing out of Japan has been pretty stellar still the last few sets,
Yeah.
while the printing out of Belgium has been less than stellar. That's been true at least since Hunted. Playable Fableds doesn't help the game depending on rarity and price. I still would prefer the Fableds not be in a position like Voltaris, which is blue pitch, make a lightning flow, which all three of these heroes will very desperately want, and very much want to run.
My
I'm
problem
not
with
super stoked about that.
my problem with Fables is when they come up as part of like an end game condition. Like if you see them
Oh,
once in a
sure.
game and it spikes the game, I'm like, I'm okay
Light
if I
of
don't
Soul.
have to have the card. Like you can play Prism without Light of Soul, but
Yeah.
like,
Or library.
but when you're Marlin and you have to have riches,
I plus riches.
I plus
Yeah.
riches, that feels bad. That is an actual
Yeah.
feels bad, and I don't like that because it's like an entire aspect of your game hinges on these really
Yes.
expensive cards. I don't like that as
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. That's
I'm-
when it starts to lose me.
I'm also not necessarily advocating for cards like the Assassin or the Chaos one, right? Plague Hive or
Plague Hive and Schism. Yeah.
Plague Hive or Schism.
Like
they're both like $30 cards, and I'm not necessarily advocating that. Like, I think if a Fable's $200, that makes sense, but I feel like
Is it $200 because it's rare, or is it $200 because of the demand? Like, which
Well,
side is driving that price?
it'll always be $200 because it's playable is the problem. But,
Essentially,
like,
yes.
I
because,
would
like,
love it
look
if
at
it could be in
just-
a way where it doesn't make sense as
Yeah.
it isn't a core card in
It's-
your game plan.
I think Light of Soul is a great example of where a playable Fabled should be, because it's like it's $100.
That's
It's-
a great price.
That's honestly a
For
pretty
a
good price
Fable?
for a Fabled.
That's great.
And it's also like not necessary, not 100% necessary. If you didn't have Light of Soul, I wouldn't care. It's like, okay, you got all the other cards first besides Light of Soul and Library. Yeah.
Yeah.
That deck is like $100, by the way.
Yeah.
Because Footsteps is like $35 right now.
That's surprising to me. I thought you were going to say all 100 was in Footsteps. Huh. Game's changing.
No, that's in getting a bunch of random Majestics.
I guess that's true. That's fair.
So like it, I don't know that playable Fableds are necessarily like pushing new players away from the game, but it does add to the cost when people look up a deck list
When you're
and there's two
yeah.
Fableds in it.
The problem is when you're looking at the Fables, when you're looking at Light of Soul, it looks the exact same as Voltaris.
On the surface.
Because
Yeah.
on the surface they're both gems that just do the thing your deck wants to do, and it's like how
They're
could
the right
that?
color. It does
Yeah.
the thing. It does the thing at no cost.
But
like-
it's deeper than that because it's how the heroes interact with it on a gameplay level.
Yeah, it's the play pattern.
Yeah, and so
Like, as I keep harping on time and it set release after set release, it's like, what is the actual play pattern that arrives from having this card in your deck? And it's like it's just free to run Light of Soul and Voltaris, but the opportunity cost is free.
what if Riches
The
was
result of it
what if Riches was a red?
way less playable
What
because
if Riches?
you can't pitch it to the gold.
Yeah, and so like
It's probably not played.
it's probably not played. How about yellow?
It is yellow. Riches is yellow, dog.
Brother, I don't read cards. Frick. Man,
Bro, if Riches is blue, we're committing some crimes with
it's
that
like
card.
yellow, but it says something like you can't pitch this to gold or something stupid. Like, I don't even know. Like, you can't pitch this to the activation of a gold or something. I don't even know. I don't know how you would bounce it. I'm not pretending to be a dev on the show right now.
They just pitched the tech plating then.
I forgot.
Depending on
Victor was a hero.
Oh yeah.
I was still thinking about Marlin. I don't know. I feel like I like the idea of the one of in a set that is very silly and funny, and it's a legendary, and it's a. I think even gems are really interesting. They don't block. They only do one thing, But
I like Schism. I like Voltaris. I don't like Voltaris, excuse me. I like
Schism's pretty
Master
cool.
Cog. Schism is great.
Master Cog's great.
Master Cog could be great.
I don't know.
I think Heart and I are weird. I
Yeah.
think Arknight Shard is another great example, actually, of a Fabled, because it's not strictly an upgrade.
But I push back on the original take that it doesn't look like the game's growing. They are actively, consistently trying to do things for the new player.
Yes. I mean, that's the whole point of why they're trying to make Silver Age like a competitive format, right?
Yes.
It's cheap to get in, easy to get in, and then you get to go play calling level
And
events.
they're also very clear, even if not like on very exact numbers and details, because that might not be a good thing from a business standpoint, depending on who you ask. But they are very clear that the game is actively growing year over year.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I don't know if the game is going to start plateauing anytime soon. If it does, I wouldn't be super surprised, but it would probably still be growing people at the rate that they're losing people.
Yes, I think that's what would be happening.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing you need to strive for in all business, right? So like you always have turnover. There is no stop to turnover. There is lessenings to it, but you have to keep in mind from a business perspective, you have to keep in mind that there will always be turnover, so you need to have new customers, and they are working towards that. They do that. Or at least what they divulge to us, and then also what we've seen them do feels like good moves. Windrock says Sage looks fine. Flesh and Bad said we need
as much as it's going to be.
Flesh and Bad said we should make a new format starting at heavy hitters, and it goes heavy hitters forward. The modern, which I have always been in concept. The games are fun, but I've been an in concept modern hater.
Okay.
I would rather the condition on not playing your cards be something other than time frame. Maybe that's my problem with rotation in general. Is just when you're like, you can only play cards because of this time frame. I'm like, that's a terrible reason to choose cards. In my opinion. I hate that. Austin says, where do you put your midnight water at, Kevin?
Right there.
Sick. I put mine right here. Gut said, my hot take is they need hero-specific bans. And I was like, oh no, not again.
Yeah, I don't know.
It feels a lot like restricting cards, where it's just like...
Kind of, yeah.
Very needlessly complicated. And I understand how it undermines certain heroes, but I don't know. Some of those heroes weren't playable to begin with. Depends on the situation you're talking about. They also brought up the concept of WWE Raw Deal Diversity Rule. Have you heard of that? There's a card game called the WWE Raw Deal, and they have a rule, according to him, that goes... Oh gosh, it's complicated. Only one hero could make a top 8. So
best of
you seed
marionettes.
You seed a what do we do? A round robin.
Okay.
You get seeding based on round robin, and then the first player at the very top of the list, they get in slot 1. And if the second player is playing a different hero, they get slot 2. And so it's like whoever the best in each of the top 8 heroes gets seeded as such. So you only get one Marionette, you only get one Acilio, you only get one Victor. And then you only get one Kasai, whatever the next hero on the list is.
Yeah. You would probably just go down the top performing. Like, you would probably average out like the top 10 of each hero. And then the top performing 8 heroes, their number 1 moves up or something.
something like that. They were
Meh.
saying it makes players become more creative and widen the meta because sometimes if I want to make top 8, I have to play something outside of the top 3 decks.
Um, I don't. You run into problems where if your meta's just bad anyways, you go into a top 8 where the result is decided.
Yeah, I think my pushback was some of the better
Let
players,
them.
some of the top 8 in quality of player don't
Hmm.
always make it. If you're the second
Yeah.
marionette, you're very upset. Um,
Hmm.
and then also sometimes a top 8 could just be dominated by one player because they're on the good deck.
Yeah, like if your meta is bad, that top 8 just falls apart so
Hmm.
fast. But I guess that's not entirely untrue of any other top 8. So I guess that's kind of a moot point. But the top eight's just going to look different.
LSS Gunter. LSS are cowards for hating on wizards, warriors, and not unbanning Shunt, showing continued favoritism towards rune blades, as they always do, and by unbanning Burn Up Shock Lightning Press.
I mean, okay, first off, we know where the burn up shock lightning press unban comes from.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, I don't know, dude. What?
I
I
think
think it's fine.
I think there's players, and I'm not specifically talking about him, who are just like they're tuned in on a specific class is the bane of their existence, and they focus too hard on it.
Yeah, they take it personally.
They take it very personally. In the same way that someone could like fall in love with a hero, they could they could
Yes.
find a
Oh,
rival
absolutely.
in a different hero, right?
Yeah.
To the point where it's like that's not this isn't favoritism. They're just making good
Yeah.
decisions. I
Yeah.
I will say LSS definitely has favoritism towards Runeblade in the lore as one of the
Yes.
most prominent things in the game,
Yep.
and there there could be arguments in the past where it kind of felt like the because
Hmm.
James White develops the game, but he also like loosely sets the basic plot for the entire game. He understands that Runeblade is a
Not
linchpin in the
loosely.
lore. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so like
No, he just sets the plot for
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah. And I was being vague as
Yeah.
I do sometimes, but like not definitive as I do sometimes.
Sure.
So it could maybe feel like if James White is setting the plot and he knows how important Runeblade is, but he's also making the cards and the heroes. Like there could be a mindset that maybe he's influenced by that, but like
Hmm.
I don't know, bro. That feels like tinfoil hat theory.
Yeah, I
Saint
agree.
Havoc, we need to see the data. LCC's put out the exact numbers for who voted for what. We did get those, and that's exciting.
They
And I
put
just
out
wanted to
the
bring that up again.
percentages at least.
And they said something. I don't remember the wording. 100,000 players? No, 10,000 players?
10,000.
10,000. I don't remember if they said tens of thousands or roughly 10,000 players or how they worded it, but it's like you could probably extrapolate from that how many people are voting for what. Um,
Yeah.
I think that's mostly it.
I think that's it. Naval
There's
tribalism within
so many
classes. I
takes.
mean, it's not even like just classes. I think it's still just
Mm-hmm.
like another factor of connecting with a hero.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's still, yeah. But
Can I support? Blah 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 blah. Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm good to go.
I'm good to go. All right. Yeah, I held us over. I wasn't paying attention at the
Nah, it's
time,
fine.
but I think that about wraps it up. Remember to go check out our merch at the tablepit-shop.fourthworld.com where you can get shirts that say things like
Spectral will continue until morale improves.
that's his go to. Uh,
Yeah.
it's pretty good. There's a Pit Against shirt for all you Pit Against fanatics. For all you callers out there. For all my callers. Remember to go if you want to help make this stream look nicer and help get supplies for our project videos, you can help support us at patreon.com/thetablepit. I got a mic because of it. which has been helping out great. Kevin, do you have any shout outs?
Since the last time we did this, because we didn't do this last week,
True.
I was over on Jesse Harper's channel,
Oh, yeah.
talking about Ziggy a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put out a video. Probably, I'm looking to put it up or have it go live next Monday, so 4 days from now, where I go a little bit more in depth and I talk about like what I'm looking at when I look at this new hero and new class, and what I think some of the strengths and weaknesses are for it, and where I think it's gonna fit, and what
Ziggy.
I'm thinking about doing for Ziggy. Because after we recorded that video, I went and took one of my notebooks and I wrote about 20 or 25 pages of notes on just play patterns and the way cards interact and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm gonna do it'll probably be a decent chunk of time, but it won't be too much. So that'll go up then. Monday.
Sick. I love that.
Holding myself to it.
I love that. I think that was it. That's all I can think of. We also have No Box, a Chill Tower Star stream where we do adult streams Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. I think we're doing it this week. I have not checked in.
Well, you can go do that in a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to do that in a minute. So thank you all so much for watching. Bye.